Villains, when you're developing a villain, like I said, you have to look at how somebody becomes a villain. Why would you look at your own life and you pull your own life apart and go, what happened if, what if this, if I took that, made that choice and that choice at that point, and I did this. Now, what would be the obstacle of that? So that's how what would be the outcome of that? Sorry, and what obstacles would you put in front of that person? Say there's something good going in your life, and suddenly something bad happens, right? Say suddenly you're a success, and then you lose your family, all right? And let me just move this here. Sorry, guys. And yeah, and so and then then you lose your family, as I said about Superman. So if you're just a normal guy and that happens to you, how do you deal with that? Do you go and get counseling? Do you go through a grieving process? Do you look for people to get around you to help you get forward in life, to not get over that, but deal through it so that you can get past it? And the getting over thing is this doesn't happen. You get past it and you get through it. Is the way to sort of think through that. And I think that if you take any characters that you like in comic books, movies, TV shows, you find out that even something like Breaking Bad, right? You can get to like that character, right? Um, I mean, I remember binging that, and I watched the first pilot couple of episodes. Like, I'm not into this. I don't want to watch something about drugs, making meths and stuff like that. This is just not me. I don't enjoy things like this. But when I started looking at the character and how this was happening, you can see him. He's got children. He's got a wife, and he's done everything right. Right? He's worked his whole life to get to where he is. He's done everything right. Then an obstacle is put in front of him, and he's about to give up, and he decided, I'm going to give up, take life insurance out, I'm not going to tell my family, and so on. And so, what happens then? Then he finds out one of his students, right, is playing games with drugs out there, and gets involved with them. And so now he's thinking, hey, I could actually make money from this, supporting my family. And then you see him rise. That the usual arc of a villain without being a villain first. Nobody becomes a villain first. Nobody is evil first. There are obstacles in life, in our lives, and your life, and everybody's life that happen. But how you choose to work through that makes you either a good person or a bad person or a villain or a hero. And so you got to look at, when you're looking at writing stories, that's how you approach the characters that you're thinking about writing. Is it obstacles? You have to put obstacles. You have to create pain. You have to create emotion, sadness, grieving. You have to put all this there, not all at the same time, mind you, but sometimes, yeah. But you also have to put things and people around them to either make them into a hero or make them into a villain, right? So you can see there's so many things that happen with Breaking Bad, with the main character, which I can't remember the name of, sorry, and how he's trying so hard to be good, using the money to do good for his family, but things just keep happening to him, which turn him into what he becomes in the end. And even with all the good intentions, you can still become a villain, right? And even with all the bad intentions, you can still become a hero. You look at Spider-Man, right? His Uncle Ben dies because he chose a bad move. Excuse me. He decided to let the villain, the criminal, get away, who in turn shoots Uncle Ben, right? And so out of that, he decides, no, out of that grieving process, out of the bad situation, that evil situation, that criminal situation, and that sad situation, he decides, I'm not going to use my powers for self, but I'm going to use my powers for good, right? Because I have power, I must use it responsibility, which is what Stanley coined, which is one of the most greatest sayings in comic history ever, right? With great power comes great responsibility. And so, and so, um, I think that, yeah, sorry, that was my chest having a go at me. So when you realize when you're doing that, when you're creating characters, that even out of a bad situation you can create a hero. You look at Batman, that's happened. Doesn't really want to. Let me just grab a drink. Excuse me. Water. Right. So even in the bad situation, you can get a good thing come out of it, but not instantly, right? Not instantly. As you watch Batman, his life story, whatever, his whole growing up, he's still a kid, right? He is still a kid. I think he's about 12 years old at that point when his parents die in front of his eye. He's still a kid. So he's very immature. He's still in his head grieving. He doesn't even understand the loss yet. It's going to be years before he understands the loss and how. And then he needs Alfred to teach him, right, how to deal with that grieving. A mentor there to say, hey kid, it's me and you now. Let's get through that. I'm going to show you how to get through this. I'm going to get you counseling. I'm going to get you, one-on-one sit down. Me and you will talk through this. We'll discover how good your parents are. We'll discover what they were about, who they were, what they meant in this world. You were sheltered from all this evil world that's out there. You were sheltered, right? Everywhere you went, you were sheltered. Now, the evil of the world, the goodness of the world came to your door, and they took away your family, right? In this case, the evil, right? Now you have to decide, are you going to be good? Use this to be good, or use this to be bad? And I think this is, a lot of people don't realize the goodness of Alfred in this whole situation. Sorry. And how he raised this child, right, to become a hero. And we always go about how Batman, tenacity of Batman, and all this. I tell you, 90% to 80 to 90% of what Batman's about is due to Alfred being in his life, right? Because his parents weren't there. So Alfred took over mum and dad roles in his life. So he became a solo parent to Batman to make him into a hero. Now, hopefully what I'm saying isn't all over the place, because my mind sort of works like everywhere, totally non-linear. And hopefully with these videos you can get something out of it. But yeah, so I mean, Batman's one of my favorite characters. He's my top three, right? There's Punisher, Batman, and Constantine. Three different characters, right? All three with no superhero powers. And that's what I really love about these three characters. They have no superhero powers. And what they do is the tenacity of them as a human being. And I think that is the greatest reason why I love these guys for so much. Because, not because they're man or anything, but because it's just the characteristics of them. They've been developed so long over time to be where they don't need powers to be who they are. They can get in there and do things differently. And here's the thing. So you have anti-hero in both in Punisher and in Constantine. And you have a hero who's almost an anti-hero in Batman. So I sort of gravitate towards these characters, although I write all different genres, right? With Incredible, it's all about superheroes and villains and so on. The Circle, it's all about criminals, right? But not really criminals, just normal guys, and not all criminals, right? So normal people having obstacles put in front of them, before them, and just going about their lives, and things happen. And I think that's what you have to focus on when you're writing characteristics, is something has to happen to change their trajectory, right? From A to Z, there are things got to happen. You can't have a good hero or a good villain in the sense of writing a story where there's nothing happening to them that's made them that way. So, and the story's going to be really bad if nothing's happening to them. Who wants to read a story where there's nothing happening? But to create a sympathetic hero and a sympathetic villain, you must put obstacles that emotionally tie us to them and that emotionally wrecks their worlds, but allows them either as a villain to focus on that wholly and make them worse, or make them pass through it and make them better. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you got something out of this. My name's Malfunction, and Sun's still out in New Zealand. Thank you so much. Ciao.